Now I am going to read another new story for you. This one is also a true incident, written exactly as it happened. The writer said that the incident happened to them personally. At that time, they had just moved into a new house. A few days after moving in, this incident occurred. Let me describe the house a little. There were no other houses nearby. On both sides were open fields, a pond behind, and a highway in front. The surroundings of the house were very beautiful. In the evening, if one went up to the terrace, one could see only fields all around. A little farther away was a mahogany garden, and next to it, a black pond. I don't know why it is called the Black Pond, but I do know it contains a lot of fish. However, no one can catch fish there. Because paranormal things are present, everyone believes there are jinns there. Once a group of fishermen came from a distant area. They said they had heard that it is impossible to catch fish in the pond, but they could try, with one condition: 3/4 of all the fish caught must be given to them. The pond's owner thought it would be impossible to catch anything. Even if they got 1/4, it would be more than enough. So they agreed. The fishermen then began preparing to catch fish. They cast nets on one side of the pond and dragged them from the other side. Yet no fish were caught except for some small ones. The fishermen were extremely frustrated. How could this happen? How could they return home empty-handed after all that effort? Fish were visible, yet none came into the nets. The fishermen decided to use a pump to drain the pond water to catch the fish. The pump was started and they were thinking, this time, the fish cannot escape. According to the pond's size, draining should not take long, but unusually, it took far more time than expected. Anyway, water was being pumped out. By that time, night had fallen. The fishermen decided to cook by the pond and told everyone that no one should enter the pond at night. Whatever needed to be done could wait for the morning. By the early morning hours, the water level had decreased. The pump was stopped, and when they turned on the lights, they saw a large number of fish. The fishermen were delighted. They planned to catch them as soon as morning light arrived. Meanwhile, the local people were very curious about the pond, so they also came in the morning to watch the fishing. But surprisingly, no one could catch any fish. Whenever someone scooped something out of the mud to put in a basket, they saw that it wasn't fish. It was a snake. Thinking it might be an optical illusion or hallucination, they searched for a while longer and asked each other, "Can you see? Isn't it a snake?" At that moment, people from above started shouting, "Snake! Snake!" Frightened, all the fishermen fled from the pond to higher ground because the pond was full of snakes, hundreds of them. Not just one or two, but hundreds of snakes. Imagine such a situation. Not just one person, but the entire community had gathered to witness it. Everyone from the area remembers that incident vividly, and it is still recounted as a common story. Even now, the pond exists, and no one dares to go there alone. Whether in the afternoon or at night, 1 or 2 snakes will always be seen, and this terrifying pond was right next to our house. The surroundings of the house give a unique feeling. The place is eerily beautiful, where you feel both attracted to stay and simultaneously afraid. Now, let's return to the main incident. We moved into the new house a little hastily because my grandfather's health was poor. Due to old age, he was in a critical condition. My father was very eager that his mother could stay at the house for a few days. So, we hurriedly moved in. There was no boundary around the house. Standing there in that frightening environment, our newly occupied house loomed large. My grandfather's condition was worsening. He started speaking incoherently, babbling nonsense, and this continued for about a week. Then his speech suddenly stopped. For 5 days, he didn't speak at all. Finally, the moment of his final farewell arrived. He passed away. Relatives came, The house was filled with people, and the atmosphere was intense, unlike usual days. After 4 or 5 days, everyone returned to their own homes, leaving only the 4 of us: mother, father, and my 2 siblings. A house after a death feels terrifying, doesn't it? Understand, then, how eerie the atmosphere was. I forgot to mention one thing. Ever since we moved into that house, whenever night fell, I would hear strange sounds around the house. There was a collapsible gate at the front of the house, and it felt as if someone was shaking it or hanging on to it. But whenever we opened the door to check, we found no one there. Sometimes, a muffled crying sound would drift through. It's hard to explain that strange sensation. The heartbreak of Grandma's death, combined with such a haunting environment, made our lives almost unbearable. Every night we wondered, where have we come? How will we stay here with this fear? My father used to say that it feels like this for the first few days after moving into a new home. It would get better with time, he insisted. He didn't take any of these ghostly incidents seriously at all. Anyway, let me tell you about one particular night. My father suddenly had to travel for office work. Before leaving, he told us he would not return home that night. Even when he was home, we stayed huddled together in fear. Now without him, we couldn't even imagine how we would manage. Evening came. The 3 of us locked the front gate and the iron door at the back. We were having snacks when we suddenly felt the surroundings were even more silent than usual, and lightning flashed across the sky. It felt like a huge storm was coming. And back then, even a slight cloud meant the electricity would go out. Rain or wind, there would be no electricity. That night was no different. The electricity went off. Darkness swallowed everything instantly. The storm began with violent winds, and inside our hearts a chilling current of fear flowed. Mother sat with my brother and me, turning on a dim charger lamp and waiting for the storm to pass. In the dead of night, my brother and mother were terrified. Our house was beside the highway where robbers often roamed, but the surroundings were so eerily quiet that I was frightened to my core. The wind eased a little, but then rain joined in. The rain began pounding heavily, pouring non-stop. What a terrifying feeling it was. Even writing about it now gives me chills. The rain kept falling continuously. We were spending time in an unknown fear. And then it happened. Suddenly, with a rattling sound, someone was shaking our gate vigorously. We froze in fear. We were silent. No one spoke. The sound kept going on and on. After a while, it stopped. My mother and brother decided to check. Brother said, "I'll go to the roof and look." Mother said, "No need." I said, "Let me move the curtain and see." Then my brother slightly pulled the curtain and looked toward the gate, but said he couldn't see anyone in the dark. Mother said, "Look carefully around." No one was there. Suddenly, in a flash of lightning, they saw someone standing near the gate. A small dwarf-like old woman wearing a grayish or dirty white sari. A large veil covered her head. Because of the veil, her face was not visible. My brother moved away from the window and said, "Mom, an old lady is standing there." Mother thought maybe some elderly woman was in trouble. She said, "Come on, let's open the door and see who she is." My brother wasn't scared at all. They thought they should ask her what happened. But from childhood, I was terribly afraid of anything supernatural. I said, "Don't go, I'm scared." Mother said, "The gate is locked. We'll just open the door a little to see who it is." They opened the door and saw someone standing with her head lowered. The veil hid her face completely. Where the face should be, it looked strangely dark. Mother asked, "Who are you? What do you want?" Where have you come from on such a stormy night?" The woman didn't lift her head, just nodded strangely. I still cannot forget that scene. Then the woman spoke in a voice mixed with both male and female tones. "Open the door, open the door, open the door." Her voice was terrifying. Mother slammed the door shut and said, "This doesn't sound like a human voice." I screamed and began crying. Outside, that horrifying voice kept shouting, "Open the door! Open the door!" After the front door, she began banging on the back door, saying, "Open the door." Sometimes the right window, sometimes the left window. Everything was happening so fast. For an elderly woman, it was impossible to move so quickly from one window to another, from one door to another. My mother understood immediately who or what she really was. She grabbed my brother and me tightly and began reciting surahs, especially Ayatul Kursi, loudly and repeatedly. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Suddenly, my brother called out to us, and we snapped back to our senses. Mother stopped reciting. My brother said, "There's no more sound." The astonishing thing is the immense power of Ayatul Kursi, yet we often fail to realize its importance. Through its blessing, Allah saved us from that great danger in a miraculous way that night. After some time, the electricity came back. Even then, our fear wasn't fully gone. Suddenly, we heard knocking again on the gate. Thok, thok. Someone was calling my brother by name. But this time, it wasn't anything supernatural. The voice was familiar. We realized it was our cousin, Shah Jahan. He was standing at the gate drenched in rain. We felt as if life had returned to our bodies. We quickly opened the gate and brought him inside. And that's how the terrifying night finally ended. The house still exists, but it has been many years. None of us live there anymore. The house is no longer one-storied. The ground floor is now rented out. Whenever we go there, we stay upstairs. The second floor always remains locked. That eerily beautiful house surrounded by fogwood trees is ours. I don't know why people say they don't believe in jinn or spirits. If we are Muslims, then the Quran clearly mentions the existence of the jinn race. If any one of those disbelieving people had been there that night, they would have understood what fear truly is, and they would have realized whether jinns and spirits really exist in this world or not. People say they do not believe in jinns or ghosts, yet they feel scared inside a dark room. If they really do not believe in these things, then why are they afraid? So, this was the incident about jinns and spirits. With these words, Mariam ended her story. And how did you feel about this incident? You must write your opinion in the comments. And have such things happened in your life as well? If so, do not forget to share that in the comments too. All of you, please stay with us, stay well, stay healthy, and pray for us, so that we can continue to return to you again and again with amazing and thrilling incidents like this. Ending here today. Allah Hafiz,